Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up.
Michelle, I thought you had our graphic ready.
To start a Monday like that, guys. What is going on with the opening credits?
There's nobody left.
What? We literally have to start over.
We can't get Kyrie and Luka and Ant Edwards, Cat, Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton.
How many people are you putting in this thing?
Well, you get four or five.
Okay, you get one from each team. That is who we have to decide on. So that's what we're going to do.
By Tuesday. By Wednesday.
By tomorrow morning this time. This is Run It Back. It is FanDuel TV. My name is Michelle. I've got Stadium Insider Charania. Chandler P, fresh off the golf course. Lou Will right there. Oh, hello, Lou Will. We now have our official Final Four. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to talk about them.
It's been 50 seconds.
Let's discuss how we got here, shall we?
But if it was the Knicks, it would have been the best Final Four ever.
If they weren't all in the hospital. But yeah, here we go. Pacers, Knicks. It was Game 7. Indy wins it. 131-09. That was not fun to watch at all. They had a playoff record percentage shooting from the field of just over 67%. Tyrese Halliburton finished with 26 points. Jalen Brunson, I mean, why? Of course he did. The cherry on top left in the second hand with a broken left hand. Dante DiVincenzo threw in his 39. But afterwards, Jalen Brunson was asked if the season was a success. And he quite simply said, no. He's right. Right, Lou?
Yeah, I would have to agree with him. You know, on the outside looking in, we don't know what goals they set internally as an organization. We don't know how far they thought they could go. In a lot of circles, this is an upset, right? This is an upset for the Indiana Pacers. A lot of people had the Knicks winning this series. So if you go into it with that mentality and you lose in 7 games to a team that you feel like you should have beat in the second round and you had aspirations to get to the conference finals, absolutely, this is not a successful season to the New York Knicks. I think they got a lot to work on, a lot to build on as well. You know, they put a lot of good work in, got the New York fan base back excited about New York Knicks basketball. But all in all, if you're not a young up-and-coming team and you lose in the second round, a lot of teams will have this sentiment. So I agree with them.
I like it.
I think it's the right answer, but I think he's wrong. I think it's such a successful season. I think as banged up as they are, the adversity they've had to go through. Sorry about that.
Good God Almighty.
I think it's a hell of a season, and not many teams can overcome all the injuries, losing arguably their best player that obviously did lose Randall. Jalen Brunson became that, but losing him, losing their starting center, losing their best center. OG, he tried last night. You could just tell he wasn't right. So I think he'll look back on this and look at, maybe a week or two and realize that they have a lot to be proud of. They got the Garden jumping again. The Knicks are a thing. The NBA is cooler. The NBA is better when the Knicks are a thing, and that has a lot to do with this season and Jalen Brunson and what he's brought to this entire city. So I think it was a huge success. I think they have a lot to look forward to, and I think if they were healthy, I think they win the series.
I would agree with you if they lose to a team that we felt that has been superior to them throughout the course of the season. I don't think they felt like that about the Indiana Pacers.
No, God, no.
So that's why I feel like he's
And it's a frustrating loss, but again, they literally didn't have Jalen Brown or Jalen Brunson in the second half. They didn't have OG, so it's like they're literally rolling out there with role players in reality, and like that's hard to overcome, and especially when their entire offense has been going through Jalen Brunson. He's been their guy. He's been their everything. So again, I think it's frustrating. I think it's the right answer because there are expectations. They do want to win a championship, but with the hand they're dealt with all these injuries, they were plagued, they were doomed. They made the Knicks cool again, and I think that alone is a success.
And basketball is a game of inches, right? If the New York Knicks win last night, I think this conversation is completely different. I think we're talking about the game that Dante DiVincenzo had.
Yeah, of course.
9 for 15 from the three-point line.
Dear Lord.
Almost had a 40 ball, giving them an opportunity to win a basketball game, and they fall short. That's why we love these games. That's why we love these scenarios, because one little instant, one little thing can change the entire trajectory of everything that you want to talk about.
So if the Knicks won this game, is it a successful series? Because we don't think they're going to beat the Celtics anyways. So
they were healthy?
But no, as they are right now. If they just won this series, went to the conference finals, and then got swept by Boston, is that a successful season?
I think so.
It's an asterisk season, is it not? Because you're going to always be like, they had great potential and they did amazing things, and then literally no one was available.
And you had the opportunity to get swept. Like there's the difference. They're on vacation today.
Like Pacers, successful season no matter what.
No matter what.
For sure.
Successful season no matter what.
Overachieved.
In-season tournament. Listen, we hadn't talked about the Indiana Pacers since the in-season tournament, and they went through a lot of turbulence, a lot of ups and downs in that season. So to fast forward and for them to be in this position now, you got to give them a lot of credit. And on the flip side of that coin, got to agree with Jalen Brunson. We shouldn't be the ones on vacation right now, based on how our separate seasons.
And if you're the Knicks coaching staff, organization, front office fans, you love this answer. You know, as cool as they are, as poppin' as he made this team again, as big of a season he's had, he wants more. He expects to win. He doesn't think it's a successful season just to get to the second round, lose in a Game 7. And it's frustrating at home in the Garden to lose a Game 7. The Pacers played great, but yeah, I think there's frustration there, and the injuries, obviously everything on top of that. But you got to be proud if you're the Knicks of how they played this year.
Look how professional I am being, Lou. I feel like you're not giving me any props.
You're working on it. You're working
whatsoever.
on it. Your face says something different.
There's a lot going on here. They, of course, the Tibbs slander it began a while ago, let's be honest. But Brunson did take a minute to defend Tibbs, said he should not take the bulk of any of the blame for losing this. Where are we on that?
Well, here's the thing. The injury thing, I can agree with that. The minutes, that's too much. But fracturing a hand, that's bad
Abdominal
luck.
strain?
Yeah, like, that's unfortunate. If it's a hamstring, we're talking things like that. But a fractured hand has nothing to do with the minutes he's playing.
Bad luck.
That's just an unfortunate break. But again, I think there's got to be a balance. You see how much production. You see how much production they got from Alec Burks. You see, when you look at that and you see how he could have been doing.
And shout out to you. You were early on saying that he was going to give them.
They could. I think Shake Milton still could have got more opportunity. I think he's a solid player. So I think there is different ways he can balance out the minutes to avoid things like this. But a lot of these stuff is uncontrollable. There's no way Jalen Brunson playing this many minutes is going to cause him to break his hand.
It's also fair for Tibbs to get some criticism, though.
For sure.
Yeah, a little bit.
For Jalen, for Josh Hart, the first time he goes to the bench in Game 3 is
just crazy.
It's insanity, man. It's insanity. Like, you have to find ways to buy minutes for these guys. Maybe in Game 3, Games 1, 2, that works. But this thing went 7 games, right? This went to the end of the road, and so that stuff starts to matter when you get down to Game 6, Game 7. It might be funny and a joke in Games 2 and 3, but at 7, you can't tell me that he needs more rest. So Tibbs being criticized is a fair criticism to some extent when it comes to these injuries.
Well, it's going to be there's going to be a lot of that, I am sure. The offseason, though, is officially here now for the Knicks. So what do we expect to happen?
They're going to continue to be aggressive. They've got 8 first-round draft picks they can trade. Obviously, they have seconds, they have swaps. So they're looking for that next player if he is available, whenever that's going to be. There are a few issues, though, right? You have the OG Anunoby free agency that potentially looms. They got him in that big trade. They gave up a lot of assets for him, Emmanuel quickly, draft picks, et cetera. Will they be able to keep him? I think that's going to be their priority. But then 2 other players, Jalen Brunson, he's extension eligible. We'll see if it makes sense for him to extend now or wait till 2025. But Julius Randle, he's got a player option in 2025. He's eligible for a 4-year, $188 million contract extension this summer. Or I should say 4-year, $181.5 million contract extension. Either way, significant money. Teams are monitoring the situation for sure, because how they handle that extension situation, if that is a conversation, what transpires, I think that'll be interesting. Because you think about movable assets, salaries, obviously Julius Randle's got the number if you are to make a big trade.
Okay, here we go.
Don't do it.
They can't do that.
You can't trade Julius Randle?
No, they can't pay him that much.
So, and you're saying you can't trade him?
Correct.
Interesting.
I think Julius Randle's great. I love Julius Randle. I love his game. I just think the potential and everything that happened once he went out, Jalen Brunson became a star. They had more success with him out. Do I think he helps their team? I think he's actually a good fit. Yes, but I think they need another score. I think they need another wing score. I'd rather see them try and bring in a Donovan Mitchell, bring in a Devin Booker. I know, but
Donovan Mitchell, what?
I mean, not Donovan, Devin Booker.
Oh.
I think they need someone like that. By the way, it's the Knicks.
Not trading Devin Booker.
I got
I'm just saying. I think
in the future.
When I watch the Knicks, I see Jalen Brunson, who is unbelievable. He's pounding the ball. He's taking a lot of contested shots. They need someone besides that is their offense. They don't have like a flow. They don't have a movement.
You need more size, though.
I mean, they definitely.
They got it.
No, they
They
got
just
Mitchell.
all hurt.
They honestly,
But
they got good size. Hartenstein's great.
Hartenstein's gonna wanna get
Mitchell
paid,
Robinson's
keep
great.
him.
I just think the odd man out now with the success they had with Julius Randle. I think they got to decide on him, and I think OG is a perfect fit for Jalen Brunson. I think his versatility, his defense, the success they had. As soon as they made that trade, they were a different team. So it's almost like Julius Randle goes out, they get OG, Jalen Brunson becomes a star, and the Knicks are good again. So I think that's the obvious move to me.
I don't know. I think Jalen Brunson has become a star, but if I'm the New York Knicks, cool, now I got two. Because I had one guy that had an emergence right before Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle gets hurt. Now you give an opportunity to Jalen Brunson. Yes, they play very good basketball when Julius Randle was out. But Chandler, you and I know how that works. You're playing with house money now. You got guys that's injured. You have a built-in reason to go out, play loose, play free, no pressure on you to play good basketball. I think we saw a product of that with this Knicks team. Nobody had, even though Jalen Brunson is saying this is not a successful season, nobody had them winning the championship. We had them being competitive. We had them being contenders, and that's what they were. And I think they'll still be this. They'll probably still lose in the second round with Julius Randle. So why shake the tree when you have these guys?
It's not if they were all healthy.
It's similar to me to the Houston situation, like with Sengun out, Jalen Green turns into a star.
Hold on, Beadle's here now. What did you say, Beadle?
What?
You said not if they're
If
all
the
healthy?
Knicks were all healthy?
See, now come on.
You think they would have won? You would think they would have lost the second round?
Against the Pacers?
Yeah.
Hell no.
I think they would have beat the Celtics
Okay.
if they were all healthy. I'm not crazy. I don't know why we're buying
You
the
haven't
Celtics
believed in the
so much.
Celtics all
I
year
don't
long.
believe in the Celtics. Yes, you
yes.
said that, but
I think if the Knicks had Bogdanovich in this series, they would have beat the Pacers. Like I think they lost 4 or 5 solid, consistent role players.
I want to take that back. Okay, they don't lose.
yeah.
If they have Julius Randle and all of these guys.
Yeah.
So why are we looking to move on from him? Is it the price tag that's the problem, or is it chemistry? Because I feel like you have all the pieces in-house already.
I will
I don't
say
think it's chemistry,
their
but-
biggest issue this season obviously was health. So the fact that they have
Absolutely.
something to look forward to next year, they have the pieces. There's no panic. They're in a great situation. Do you want to dump your 4 years, 180 million, whatever it is, in the Julius Randle?
181.7.
That's a lot. That's a decision to make.
181.5.
How much is OG going to cost? Yep. You're going to extend
Hartenstein.
Jalen Brunson. You got to give him equity of the team, what he's done the last 2 years. So he's getting paid. So I just think there's
you
a
got
decision.
time.
Yeah,
Time.
but
If
there-
you are this
but there's no reason to
snake-bitten-
panic for the New York Knicks. They're in great hands.
Back-to-back years in the second round.
Yeah,
That's pretty
they're
impressive.
But
on the
do
up.
you not feel like when you have a season like this with this many injuries, like is there a paranoia about are we going to always have these injuries?
Well,
Like, I know you can't
if you're
control
playing
it.
40 plus minutes and you're going the same system and you're grinding and you're taping your ankles for shoot around, I don't think those injuries are going to stop. But there's always going to be things nagging. But I do think that they had the bench, they had the players, they just had injuries. So then Tibbs almost had no choice but to play these guys a lot of minutes towards the end.
There's no one left.
There was literally no other
It's
option.
like next dude up, whoever that is. Rick Carlisle said that when you win a Game 7 at the Garden,
We ain't trying
it's
to hear.
immediately history.
We're not trying to hear it. Because I remember at the beginning of this series, you
refs.
wanted to talk about the refs and small
Oh,
markets.
I believe he cried. Yes.
And no, just play basketball. You have a talented enough team to go out there and compete and win a Game 7 in the Garden, and y'all did it. So if I'm the leader of that team, if I'm one of the players on that team, I want my coach to echo that sentiment. I want him to go in and say, yeah, we can beat them. We don't care where we are. That should have been the message from the beginning, not at the end. So I ain't trying to hear it.
I will say that to go into I didn't think both home teams would lose Game 7s last night.
Crazy last
There's
night.
no chance. And the Garden was jumping. You see all the celebrities. They were there as soon as the doors opened. Like, it was electric in
Wait,
there.
what was the video?
Shout out to Fat Joe.
Yeah, what?
Fat Joe he was on Instagram. He said he walked 16 blocks to get to the Garden because the traffic was bad.
I
But
love
I'll
that
say,
for him.
Lou,
Said he couldn't miss a second.
Lou brought it up early. This in-season tournament, the experience, that was valuable. The Pacers, the moment
think
wasn't
so?
the moment wasn't too big.
Okay.
They were ready for this. Think about it. They're playing in front of all these celebrities on prime time on the Madison Square Garden, and they had the most historic start first half of all time in postseason history. So I think that in-season tournament, like Lou mentioned, we praised it. We haven't talked about them since. We talked about how they're going to change their offense. They're going to have to play slower they played so fast last
They
night
played
yesterday.
40 points in the first quarter.
They were unbelievable, and I do think that experience. They were not
What did they
nervous.
shoot in the first half? 70%?
70.
60. Oh yeah, 70 was in the first half.
76% or something.
The whole game. God.
It was insane. So I think that was the most
there's no one
impressive
left to
thing, that the
defend.
moment wasn't
Yeah.
too big for them. We always talk all series, Jalen Brunson this, Jalen Brunson. Tyrese Halliburton had to be the equalizer. What did you say?
She's trying
What?
hard.
What?
She's trying to be professional.
I can shoot
today.
67% if no one's defending. There's no one left to defend.
Yes, they are. They are pros. DiVincenzo had 39.
I know,
There's no
thank goodness.
excuses. No
Deuce
excuses.
McBride in the game.
No excuses.
Who's he supposed to guard, Shams? He's this
guard
big
somebody.
They
next to
didn't guard
this big.
anybody. That's the problem. They didn't guard. They gave away a 40-point first quarter on their home court in a game.
They made their first like 11 or 12 shots, and the only time that they missed, it was a Turner's dunk literally rattled out. They literally could not miss.
Sports gods suck.
It was insane. 29 of 38, 77% in the first half. That's
Yeah,
most in the
that's
postseason since
insane.
1997.
God, who did it in 97? That's insane to me.
39 points in the quarter.
Yeah.
That's the most in the Game 7 history.
Yeah, I
so
ate an
you
entire
can't win a lot of
gallon of
games
ice
giving
cream
up that. Like,
during
it's
the-
nuts.
A lot of history last night.
A lot.
You can't give
Too
up
much.
70 points in a Game 7 at home and expect to win. Like, they were doomed from jump. These guys were getting easy buckets. They played super fast. They almost did the best. We were talking about how the half court slows down against Pacers. Every time the Knicks would score, they would get out.
Yeah.
They would inbound the ball fast.
You got to think. In 7 games, the schemes are out, game planning is out, the scouting is out. It's my team versus your team. We know what y'all gonna do. You know what we're gonna do. It's gonna be the better team win. And Indiana said, you know what? Let's go back to our natural identities. Let's get out and run, get stops, be a fast basketball team. They caught New York slipping and it worked for them. Like I said, they had a 40-point first quarter. That set the tone for the next 3 quarters of that game, and it wasn't close from there.
Shall we talk about the hoodie? The Tyrese Halliburton hoodie?
Mm-hmm.
This is not before the game. This is after the game. The Reggie Miller choke sign on it. Look, in any other context, it's kind of a cool hoodie.
Yeah.
But what do we think about it
I
after?
love it, given the
love it.
history. I love all the shit talking that's happened. They said afterwards the Knicks were talking all series long, and it was physical. You could see it. There was so many different altercations. The physicality was high. And that's what I was saying earlier. Tyrese Halliburton, he had to equalize Jalen Brunson. He had to be the best player on the floor. And
Yeah.
last night he was. And whoever was talking shit to him courtside, I hope he learned a lesson because he got hot.
It
in
was
that
Spike.
first-
Who was it?
He got hot in that first quarter.
I hope
He
it's not
set the
Spike
tone.
for the sake
He
of this
didn't
hoodie.
miss.
He didn't
Like,
miss.
he did- it was insane.
It was an unbelievable offensive performance. It was a historic performance. And literally, when you have a game like that, you deserve to win and move on. So the fact they did do that at MSG in Game 7 on the road, crazy impressive.
To the winner goes the spoils.
Man,
They won. Wear what you want.
I guess so.
And now here's your prize, the Boston Celtics. You don't think it's very good.
I think this series is going to suck, and I don't even want to watch it. There I said it. That's my honest assessment of this Eastern Conference.
Do you think this?
Finals.
Okay, we'll get
I
there.
will watch it. It's my job, but I'm not.
Being
not
contractually
stoked.
obligated?
I'm contractually obligated. No, but it's you want to be like, I'll say this. At least the West, a little more excited about that.
Oh,
I'm a little more
yeah.
excited about that, and here's why. Let's get to it. All of those futures bets we made before the season started, down the toilet. Nuggets are out. T-Wolves, this is, again, history. Down 20, and they come back and send the defending champs home. It's the biggest halftime comeback in Game 7 history once again. Karl Anthony Towns, 23, 12 rebounds. Anthony Edwards had 16 points. 9 of those came in the third. Jaden McDaniels with 21. Naz Reid, good Lord, 11 points, and 8 of those were in the fourth quarter. Cat had a time scoring defense on Jokic, of all people. I know he's got a lot of doubters, and it comes and goes and fluctuates, but do you think he did enough in this one to maybe shut some of that up?
Yeah, for sure. You go on the road again and against the defending champs, against Jokic, the best player in the NBA, and you put up this type of effort when it matters the most for your team. It's a huge game. And Towns it's never been about the talent with Towns. He's always had the touch. He's always had the skill. He's called himself the big
man shooter.
Big man shooter of all time. Wow, I just had a stroke there. He was unbelievable last night. He gave effort. He still got in foul trouble a little bit, which the great thing about this team, when he got in the foul trouble all season long, insert Naz Reid and you don't miss a beat. So I think as good as Towns was, they had such a balanced effort, and they depended on their defense last night in that third quarter, and that's where they put their foot down. They got stopped. They got 14 points in the third quarter. That was basically the game, and so Towns was great. Ant was great, someone who struggled all night early.
True.
It was just such a balanced attack. They deserved to win this game. It was unbelievable. And in the first half, I thought it was over. I legitimately thought it was over.
The one time you don't put a money line bet at halftime.
Yeah.
That's what happens, Lou. What'd you see?
I thought he played well. I thought he carried him. And defensively, I think they went back to who we thought they were. We were praising them early in this playoff run as one of the better defensive teams that were left, including that with OKC. And they showed it last night. You know, guys struggled from the field, didn't really matter. You know, they got off to a slow start, didn't really matter. They put their hard hats on and they started getting stops. You know, so when you can stop a team from scoring a basketball, you don't really have to score the basketball. You kind of just got to do enough. And I think the third quarter was a telltale sign of that. Once you're getting stops, now this is the quarter where we can kind of get going. And shout out to Ant-Man. He went out and said, I'm about to get in my bag, and did just that. I wore the hoodie today just for my dog, AT Aliens, representing Atlanta. And City's proud of him, and Cat as well, just from how they approach that game, the mentality. You know, we talk about guys going out on that sword. You know, I'm going to go out swinging. I'm going to go out firing. Ant-Man shot 6 for 24 from the field.
Yeah.
Didn't really matter. He played great defense, and he had a big third quarter and came out with a good win.
This was a little shocking, this one, Joms.
Yeah, I mean, Nikola Jokic said after the game, they're literally the team that's equipped to beat us. They have everything. They have 2 All-Stars in Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. They have 2 defending just monsters. When you think about Rudy Gobert and Jaden McDaniels, and Anthony Edwards after the game said, Jaden McDaniels has been our MVP this entire postseason. The way he's able to play on both ends of the floor at the wing position. And then they have Mike Conley, just how steady he's been. He's playing through an Achilles injury. A couple games ago when he sat out of Game 4, I believe it was, he couldn't even jump. Like he couldn't even get any move. I think it was Game 5. He couldn't even jump on his movements pregame. And so to see him come back in the series last night, 10 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, he was big time. So this is a Minnesota team that made it to the conference finals. First time since 2004. They have a runway here, I think, of whether it's next few years to really compete, as does Denver. Difficult loss for Denver. I'm sure they'll be back in this position again. But Minnesota, there's a coming out party, and I think they have the talent to keep this going for years now.
Think about at halftime, had 4 points, 0 rebounds, 3 assists. And he finished with 16, 8, and 7. Was such a balanced tag, a versatile. He played unbelievable defense. He's the best two-way player in the NBA. The effort he gives on the defensive end, he's such a skilled offensive player, but it doesn't matter because even when he is playing an inefficient night, you know, not making his shots, he's still doing things like this. He's still getting in passing lanes. He's still being physical, and he still just has that energy and that charisma. Like the charisma is just contagious. You want to be around this guy.
And when you're struggling from the field, what's the best way to get out of that? Either a free throw or a layup. He didn't wait for it to come to him. He took it. He literally took it. Half court, 2 steals in a row. Get yourself going. Those are momentum plays, and it went Minnesota's way after that.
The thing that I love about Anthony Edwards, look at his line, 6 of 24. Some guys, you guys have played with players that sometimes the knock
That's
is
a disaster.
If James Harden did that,
being aggressive. But I'm saying, like, you could see the way he impacted it. Like, he was still aggressive. He wasn't letting shot opportunities go. It's not like he was playing passive because he wasn't making his shots. And he was relentless attacking the basket, even though he wasn't making those shots.
Think about that. If James Harden or Luka or Tatum did that, we'd be shitting on them how inefficient the night was. They got to get better shots. They got to get to the
Do you think
baseline.
it's because he plays both ends?
Yeah.
But it's okay when you're doing this on the defensive end. You earn your right to take these shots. You're their guy. You're the best offensive player. So you're already going to take more shots. But when you're doing what he does on the defensive end and you're busting your ass, as a teammate, you don't care when
Murray,
you really don't even notice.
You don't even notice because he can do whatever he wants when he's giving that effort on both sides.
He's picking up Jamal Murray 94 feet in the second half.
So you don't even care or notice that he's even missing shots because of the way he's defending.
I will say, though, what a series. Like a 2-0, then it's like, oh, damn.
It's amazing.
Denver get him. Then this series back. Like, this was an unbelievable series.
We should have stuck with the initial, like, oh, looks like Minnesota's going to crush
I was all
them.
over Denver.
Dang it. We came back on that one. The role players in this one were big. Jaden McDaniels, Naz Reid. Naz Reid, if you weren't even looking at your television screen towards the end there, you just heard his name. All positive, over and over and over again. Chandler, how important to have role players like this when you're on a championship quest?
Oh, it's huge. And when Towns, as good as he is, he does get in foul trouble a lot. And they don't miss a beat when he goes to the bench and Naz Reid comes in. We know he's 6th man of the year. He can pick and pop. He's athletic. He defends. He's got a deep bag. He posts up. He's unbelievable. So then when you have him And then you have Jaden McDaniels, who also, he's one of the best defenders. He can make threes. He can extend the defense. So when you have this balanced attack of good offensive players, defensive players, and you have your best player who does both, it's contagious. It's fun. And then you have the greatest guy on earth, Mike Conley, just kind of bringing it all together. This team is the total package. They had the best defense during the regular season. They have one of the best offensive during the postseason. So it's a deadly combo.
It's fun to watch. The Jaden McDaniels moment, are we going to play that with like 20 seconds left in this one? Yeah, exactly. There's a moment.
I didn't love this.
I was going to ask you if you loved it.
This was just immature. It's like, what are you doing? She should have fouled the shit out of him right here.
I don't think anyone loved it. Quite
Yeah,
frankly.
that was stupid. Like, you know, you've played really great. And if Caldwell Pope was a Pat Bev or a Bobby Portis who's coming up in a few minutes, he might get taken out for this next series. You know, on that play, respect your opponent, respect the game. This was uncalled for.
Matter of fact, I want to show Bobby this clip and say, what would you have done?
What would you do
like,
here?
Like respect the game, man. This was uncalled for.
Also because the Nuggets had given, like they just,
this was
that was
whack.
it. They were done. They weren't going to do anything else.
This was stupid. I ain't like this.
That was not our favorite as a group. Who's the favorite now? Because they just took out the defending champ.
Favorite's still the favorite. It's been the favorite from preseason, the favorite
not
now.
Boston.
It's still the
I'm
Boston
just excited that one of our new superstars is going to get their first
Me
ring this year. We got new energy in the air.
Very, very true.
That's actually a great point. Dynasties are dead. Is that right? Is that what we're saying?
JT, Luka, Ant. Are we giving Indy a chance?
You got to put Jalen in there. Jalen Brown is
Jaylen
one of our
Brown,
young
yep.
superstars
Yep.
coming up. Yes, you have to put Tyrese Halliburton in there. He qualifies.
That was
for
Shams.
this.
I didn't say
He
that.
qualifies for this.
But it is
For the
interesting.
record.
Like, we know the Celtics are getting to the final, which is crazy. We know that.
No, we don't. No, we
know
don't. Stay down.
We know nothing.
I also
The
gotta
moment
play
they
the
go
game.
down 2-0.
You got to play the game.
By the way,
I'm gonna flip flop.
we just talked about a team decimated by injury. You never know. Crap happens.
That's true, and they're already thin. They don't have a deep bench, but
It just takes one or two.
I tell you what,
big
this
ones.
Western Conference Series is going to be great.
That I do agree with. Man, so let me ask you this, Shams. We're not getting a repeat. Feels a little weird, but also kind of exciting. I'm not going to lie about that. What do the Nuggets do? If anything, what do the Nuggets plan on doing?
Well, I don't think they ever replaced Bruce Brown. When you think about it, I think they relied on
that's a
Peyton
good
Watson. They relied on Christian Braun to take the next step. And both players showed flashes, but I think seeing what could you do on the margins in free agency, but they've got a pretty big free agent and potential free agent in Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. He has a player option, $15.4 million. I'm told it's likely he's going to opt out. He's still got some time to make a final decision, but if he enters free agency, the threat of him being off this team, he's going to have a lot of leverage when you go into free agency. Just how important he's been, two-time champion, and he was really that glue piece after they got him in that trade. That really allowed them with Aaron Gordon, with Michael Porter Jr., Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray to take the ball.
Hey, Shams, he ain't going nowhere. He just trying to turn 15 into 20, brother. He ain't
Who
going
wouldn't?
nowhere.
But also Peyton Watson, DMP, like his minutes was continue to go down. He was somewhat good. He was productive defensively. Guy blocks tons of shots for a wing, but their bench they got to get more from their bench. As good as Jokic is, as good as Murray is, and in Michael Porter, I feel like he took a lot of tough shots in this game and in this series where he didn't get going. He didn't get as easy looks as he did in the first couple of series. So as good as they are, as good as a favorite that they were, and in my eyes, they don't have to. They need to add a little bit more depth. Because I think when you're not getting everything from those two guys, you have to have more. And Christian Braun, I thought he was been solid, so good last year. I thought he was going to take a huge jump. He didn't. Peyton Watson was getting a lot of DMPs in the postseason, so they need more coming off the bench.
Yeah, these point totals last night are just so wonky. Like, just unbelievably weird to look at for the defending champs.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe the day of the dynasty might just take a break. Just
Which
for a
is
minute,
great. Think
which is fine.
about the NBA right now. The Thunder is up and coming team. Even the bad teams that didn't make it, like the Spurs are going to be good. The Grizzlies, no one's even talking about them next year. Well, they're going to be fully healthy. We got our guy Gigi Jackson, who's going to be
Our favorite.
an all-star next year.
Show favorite.
They're going to be good. So there's so many good teams. Like think about this year right now. We got the Indiana Pacers and the Minnesota Timberwolves in the conference finals. Like that's crazy, but it's also great because the depth and the balance of both conferences is insane. No one predicted this.
No, God, no. Nobody.
And barring injuries, it's hard to argue that it wouldn't have been Milwaukee or it wouldn't have been Philly, but that is what it is, and every team goes to that, so you can't make that as an excuse. Or the Knicks.
Just saying. We got scoops. I believe this will be one of many scoops of this particular topic, Shams, the Lakers coaching situation.
Yeah, I'm told LeBron James is not involved in the Lakers head coaching search. I've reported on it last week. JJ Redick, James Borrego, Sam Cassell are the lead initial targets. But LeBron James made it clear this is the organization's decision. He's had no conversations with the Lakers about JJ Redick, his podcast partner. He's had no conversation with JJ about that position as well. I did speak to Rich Paul this morning. He said...
Where's that dog meme?
He said LeBron James and JJ Redick, they do a podcast together. That does not mean that he wants JJ Redick as his head coach. But he's leaving it up to the organization. We'll see what LeBron James decides for his future. Obviously, I'm told he's expected to play up to 2 more NBA seasons. The bottom line with LeBron James is this. If he was making the decisions for the Lakers, Ty Lue would have been the head coach in 2019. Kyrie Irving would be his point guard if he was running the team, if he was making the decisions. I think when you're the Lakers, you have to look into the future. Anthony Davis is someone that's going to play. He's going to outlast, most likely LeBron James as a Laker. He's 31 years old in the prime of his career. And how do you make a hire potentially that does fit AD better, involving him in the coaching search process? And he has built a rapport with James Borrego. They overlapped a little bit in New Orleans. But when you look at James Borrego, Sam Cassell, they obviously have experience as either longtime assistants, and for James Borrego, he has been a head coach before as well. So there is a difference between being a first-time head coach and someone that's been in that seat before.
It's hard for me to believe that LeBron and JJ haven't talked about it a little bit. Like, if Lou's interviewing right now for a coaching job, we do a show together, I'm probably going to be like, hey, man, like, how'd it go? Like, they definitely
Every break, I'm going to be like, what's going on, Lou?
Yeah,
what's the plan?
They definitely spoke about it at some point. Now, is the Lakers the right job for JJ? I don't think so. I think that's the biggest issue. I think that is a death sentence. You don't succeed in 2 or 3 years, you're out, you're back in the booth, and he needs a job like Charlotte. He needs a job that's a rebuilding where he can gain the respect of these young guys. Being such a young guy, a player fresh out, he can't coach an older vet team. It's not going to be as easy as fluid. You're not going to gain the respect of these vet guys. It's not going to work as great. Now, can it? If they put the right pieces and they have all the talent, yeah, then he could go on to be something great. I just think that job, I think he can be a coach. I think he will be a coach. I just don't think the Lakers job is the right job for JJ.
Tough first job. I don't know if you'd want that one. We will take a quick break. When we come back, Chandler's going to get to ask the question we all want to know the answer to about Jay McDaniels from Bobby Portis, who joins the show next.
Coach Cal, cut a check yet, Bobby?
Run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up.
You know why I'm here, you know what I came to do. If it's you against me, no, I ain't gonna lose.
Bobby Portis. He is a competitor. Nothing but that for Bobby.
You know why I'm here.
That's right. He's a 9-year vet. He's a champ. He's joining us now. Bobby Portis on the show. Bobby, I'm going to get right to it because y'all lost to the Pacers, who just beat the Knicks in a Game 7, who are somehow going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Do you think they have a chance to upset the Celtics?
I think my personal take on it is that I'm kind of glad that, I don't want to be like that guy or whatever, but I'm kind of glad that the Pacers did make it, man, because, as a fan of the game, taking myself totally from being an NBA player and someone who played against the Pacers in the first round, taking myself totally out of that context. As a fan of the game, I would rather the Pacers play against Boston because they're more healthy. You feel me? Obviously, the Knicks have a lot of injury bugs. Obviously with Randall and then OG happened, and then Mitch Robinson happened, and then Brunson happened, and then Hart happened. You feel me? So, I don't really want Boston to play against the Knicks. That Knicks team being injured. I think the Pacers have done a good job of staying healthy this season, and this time of year is about who's healthy and who's ready to roll. So I think that is a more favorable matchup, for as a fan of the game than more so being a player.
No, that's completely makes sense because what are we left to watch if no one's even available?
Yeah, for real.
Boring. During the series you guys had with Indy, you called them front runners. We love that. What did you mean by that?
I just think in context, when guys are rolling and guys are up, everything's everything. You feel me? But when guys are down, I don't think the energy is the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think the energy is the same when they're down. I think, obviously when they're up, they're talking and, saying all type of things on the court. But, I just think that, when they're down, the energy isn't the same.
Yeah, in one of the games against the Pacers, game 3, you got ejected for an altercation with Andrew Nembhard. What happened there? What was going on?
I think for the most part, I think as a fan of the game, you can easily say, you got to control this, control that. But, it's a hostile environment. It's game 4. We're playing our tails off each and every night to be the best we can be, preparing mentally, physically. And sometimes, I think that it's the emotions can get the best of you. Obviously, I got ejected and I had to sit back. It's different, man. I'm not saying like getting ejected is cool or whatever it is, but getting ejected in the first quarter and getting ejected in the fourth quarter is just 2 entirely different feelings, You kind of sit back in the first half, you're like, damn, bro, it's 6 minutes left in the first quarter. And then
a lot of time to be back there by yourself.
And then the first quarter goes by.
Quick shower.
And then the second quarter goes by. And then halftime come, your team come in the locker room, and it's like you just sitting there like, damn, I really let my team down. You know what I'm saying? So I had to come back game 5 and, do my thing for sure.
Hey, Bobby, I'm disappointed in Pat Bev. I'm gonna tell you a story. I got ejected one game, and I'm sitting there in my locker. I'm taking my shoes off or whatever. I look up, Pat's walking in the locker room, so I'm thinking he about to go to the bathroom or something. I said, "What you doing?"
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah, I got through out. I ain't want you sitting back here by yourself."
That's funny.
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed he ain't roll with you, dog. Yeah.
That's funny as hell.
Hey, Bobby, also you said getting ejected in the first quarter versus the fourth quarter. Last night, I don't know if you were logged on yet, but Jaden McDaniel's series is over. He goes for the dunk in 20 seconds. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm KCP, I'm putting him on his ass right here. This is you don't do this.
Look.
Yeah, they've given in.
The game's over.
I mean, like,
Look, even the ref knows something's about to happen.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of different now, man. Like, at first, like, I don't know, bro.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I'm just different now, bro. Like,
You told I'm different.
You are catching a
nobody's
3-game
at the-
suspension to start next year if they did this
I
against
mean,
you.
like, nobody's at the rim, though. Like, at least, like, protect the rim and don't let nobody go to the rim, at least.
Well,
you
wait,
know,
but
like,
They had conceded. They said they
Denver
were-
had just.
we good. Y'all
that was
got
it.
it.
They were running the clock out, like for real.
Nah, he was trying to go for a little, a little showtime. I think guys at the crib on the couch would appreciate it. You feel me? Like, you know?
He's just.
Straight up.
BP, the Bucks season ended for the second straight year in the first round. I know obviously injuries played a big part of that, but why else do you think it just didn't work this season for you guys?
I just think the main thing, man, is that, you can't really put a tab on, when something is going to happen to somebody. That's one thing that you really can't put a tab on, man. That's one thing that we kind of harp on a lot over the last couple of years is the injury bug, man, and being healthy at the right time and peaking at the right time. That's a real thing in sports, man. Just not in basketball, but in every sport across the board, man. You kind of need all your troops to go out there and fight with to be, it's the best team you could be. No excuses made. Obviously, we first round exits the last 2 years. How can we come back and be better? But, if we don't have one of the best players in the world on the floor available, it's kind of tough, especially when the team is kind of built around him.
Yeah, you said a lot of it's luck at this point. Whoever's healthy, you guys weren't healthy. I think if you were healthy, obviously it's different England.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Coaching change mid-season. How did you enjoy playing for Doc?
Man, I love playing for Doc. You know how it is, man. Like, Doc lets you just rock, man.
Right.
Like, if you can score the basketball, if you can, do the things he wants you to do on a nightly basis and, just lock in on your assignment, man. Doc just let you be you, man. Doc unlocked the new player in me. He took my game to another level. Calling feature play. Like, this is my 9th year in the league, like, and I never really had feature plays, but I can always score the basketball. You feel me?
Doc
Like,
was the
he was
six-man
actually
whisperer, man.
Yeah, for real. Like, he
whisperer.
let me just get to it, man. So, like, I was forever grateful for him. Like, all the outside noise people say about him, whatever they say, but individually, he took my game to another level.
As a fan on the outside looking in, I want to know, y'all were 30-13 when y'all made that coaching change. I thought y'all were playing solid basketball. What went left with Adrian, in your opinion?
I don't know what management thought or whatever it was, or I just think that, you know, obviously it's tough, man, when you become champions. Obviously that's the pedestal now, right? Like the main goal is to always get back to where you once were, and you know, like having that feeling is crazy, man. Having a parade, having a ring ceremony, getting a ring, having a ring at the crib, and suddenly feel yourself start to just chase that feeling again, and it's hard getting there, you know. So I think just mid-season, just evaluating our team, they do a good job of evaluating the roster and whatever it is, and you know, I just think they felt like you know, we needed, you know, new leadership or whatever it was. You know, obviously, I just feel like you know, when you know, have a team that won and then you make a big trade for a top 75 player in Dame, then obviously the expectations rise even higher. So I don't think it was just us feeling the pressure, man. I think everybody around there feels the pressure, man. When we lose one game in Milwaukee, man, like when you come into the next day into the gym, it just feel like it's a weight on your shoulders. Like we can't wait to give just one win. You feel me? So the pressure's just different in Milwaukee.
Can you I don't know, shed a little light? I know there was like a film session with vets towards the end of the season that Doc called. What goes on in a meeting like that?
Man, just you know, obviously it's the end of the year. You know, the end of the season, there's not 10, 11, 12 guys that's probably going to be playing in the playoffs. It's the rotation gets cut short. So if you're fortunate enough to be in that 8, 9 player group that's called upon to play a role to help impact winning, you know, most teams I've been on, especially like the last 4 years playing with the Bucks, this is what our coaches done. Coach Bud did it, and then Doc continued with it, man. Just, you know, making sure everybody's good, ready to roll. Obviously, it's a big time of the year for us to make that jump and try to get back to where we want to get to. So just trying to keep everybody focused, locked in on the same page. And it's always fun, though, especially with a player's coach like Doc. You know, guys get to voice their opinions on certain things, and we go out there and, you know, try to execute at a high level.
BP, obviously, you guys missed Giannis a ton during the playoffs, but for you, you've been a teammate of his for the last 4 or 5 years now. What to you is the best part about playing with Giannis?
I think the best part about him, man, isn't the basketball side of it. You feel me? Like just knowing him as a friend, knowing him as a brother. You know, being able to, you know, just connect with him in different ways, hanging out off the court. That's one thing about us, man, in Milwaukee, man. We have a solid brotherhood, man, in the aspect of it's not always about ball, man. We go support each other's kids at, you know, their birthday parties. I found myself going to a lot of birthday parties over the years, like for like kids that's like 4 or 5 years old and things like that. Like we have a lot of, like, you know what I'm saying? Like we got a lot of love for one another, love and admiration and respect for one another. So it's been fun just, you know, just building that trust, building that brotherhood with them. And obviously basketball takes care of itself, man. You know, I love when guys go double them or build a wall, man. I'm open for a 3, man. I'll take that 9 times out of 10 every day of the week, man. You know how it is, Chandler and Luke.
Wait, is it true that you cold called Giannis after the 1920 season? Said I can help.
Yeah, man, that was a tough year for me individually. You know, I signed with the Knicks, and it's the 1920 season. That was the biggest deal at the time I had. I remember that summer, like, because I turned down my extension. It's the year prior, and you know, kids don't ever do that, man. It's life-changing money, man. Don't turn down no extension or nothing like that, man. Especially like never look at, you know, what someone else is making. That was my problem early on in my career, looking at what other guys is making that I'm probably like, I feel like I was better than or whatever it was. But you have to know that, you know, whatever God has for you is for you. But anyways, you know, I signed with the Knicks. That was the biggest deal I had at the time. It was like a 2-year, 35, second-year team option. So the team didn't pick my option up for the next season, and then that same season, the COVID happened. So I'm at home from March 2020 all the way to November 2020, and like I ain't really have a team for real. So the teams that my agent is telling me, like, I'm really not interested in those teams because they not, teams that can help me raise my value, teams that's going to be on TV, or teams that has a chance of just making the playoffs in general. So, sometimes, you got to put your pride to the side or whatever it is and, just ask for help, man. So shit, I watched the NBA playoffs that season, and in the bubble, the playoffs like September, October-ish, you feel me? So I watched the playoffs at my home, go work out, come back home, watch the game, go home, come back home, watch the game. They had games at 12, 11 o'clock and stuff. So if you're a fan of basketball, you can watch the game. So I watched all the games, and I'm watching the Bucks, and I'm like, man, I feel like there's a place for me on this team. I don't really have anybody like me that plays with, the physicality I bring, the toughness, the scoring I could bring. I don't really have to start. I can come off the bench and help the team and whatever it is. So called Giannis, we got it together, told him, shit, man, I don't know you, you don't know me, but I feel like I can help you out. I can help you guys, take you guys to another level.
Straight up.
Awesome.
And in December of 2020, I signed with the Bucks, and in July of 2021, I was NBA champion. Like, it was crazy. 7 months later.
Yeah.
And 3 years later, y'all bring in Dame Dollar. What was that like to play with Dame?
Crazy. Like, I remember, like, I was in a commercial shooting a commercial for one of my partnerships with a company in Milwaukee, Educators Credit Union. Gotta give them some love. But I'm shooting a commercial, and then everybody just goes in silent. Like, it was so weird. Like, everybody goes in silence. I'm like, bro, what's going on? And they like, we just got Damian Lillard. And I'm like, man, hey, like, don't believe in all that fake news stuff. There's a whole lot of graphics out there. They put this guy in a Heat jersey or this guy in a Kings jersey. Like, they do that all the time. Like, I see myself, they might put me in anybody's jersey. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might get on there and they got a mock trade of you. Like, they just might mock trade you. So shit, I get on there and I'm like, dang, this Woj tweeting this. Like, this for yeah, if you see Woj's name with Sham's name, man, hey,
now it's real.
It's for real. Like, you can believe it. So I'm like, hold on, man, this is crazy.
Look at Sean's face. I'm sorry.
And I think I really called Sean,
man.
I think I really called Sean, bro. I think I called him that day, bro. And I'm like, is this for real? And he was like, yeah, man, this is going down. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah, because we thought he was going to Miami. Like, and then
He did say he was lonely in
shocking.
Milwaukee.
It did say it.
No,
He said he was lonely out there?
yeah, you guys didn't invite him to the kids' birthday parties. He said he was lonely in Milwaukee.
I guess, I don't know, man. I'm not going to say he was lonely. I'm not going to say he was lonely.
He said it. He said it out loud.
He said he was lonely?
Yes.
Oh, buddy.
He
No,
said
he
that
didn't,
out.
bro.
Yes, he
No, he
did.
didn't, bro.
Look it
It's a
up
quote.
when you get over here. Look it up.
It's real.
He said that.
He's like, wait a
my
minute.
God.
Bobby,
It probably was too cold out there the first year. You know how it is
that's
in the
probably-
Midwest, man,
That's fair.
Sean lived in the Midwest his whole life. He a Midwest guy, man. He a Chicago guy, man. He know how it is off there Lake Michigan, man. It might bring tears to your eyes walking outside, man.
Bobby, you finished third in six-man voting this year behind Naz Reid and Malik Monk. Is that something that you wanted this year? You felt like you did enough, you deserved it?
I think for the most part, I did everything I could to help my team just win. First and foremost, I played every game this season, including playoffs. I didn't sit out a game. So I feel like I put my best foot forward for my team. I'm not going to say for an award because obviously, it's something I wanted, but I ain't going to say it was just strictly for that. It was strictly for my team, strictly for winning. We had a lot of injuries this year. We didn't really play with our full team throughout the whole season. I feel like once, Chris got healthy and came back, then Dame got hurt. Or once Dame came back and got healthy, Giannis got hurt. Like, it was like a domino effect always of someone being out the lineup or whatever it is. So I kind of prided myself on, keeping my body prepared, keeping my mind right to be available for my team. And I feel like one of the best things you can, best traits you can have as a basketball player, especially in the NBA, is being available for your team. So I kind of pride myself in that more so than winning the award.
Yeah.
Bobby, this has been awesome. We appreciate the time. Enjoy your off season. Hopefully we'll talk soon.
Yeah, appreciate you guys too. And man, Sam, man, don't kill me, man, for saying the other guy's name. Man, I was just, hey, man, I don't want no smoke, man. It's the off season. It's
Smoke
the off
is here.
season. I don't want no smoke.
It's too
I
late,
don't want
Bobby.
no smoke.
You pissed him
I
off.
don't want no smoke, man.
No, we got a deal.
I'm just trying to stay safe. Like I said when I first came on here, I'm just trying to stay safe, man. I'm just trying to stay safe, man. I don't want no smoke with you. I don't want no smoke with you.
coat out his head.
I know, I feel very awkward over here. Thank you, Bobby. We'll take care of Shams.
I saw the steam coat.
NBA playoffs have tipped off. What? It's not too late to get in on the action with FanDuel because right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Use your bets on same-game parlays, live bets, championship futures, and so much more. No better place to bet all the playoff action than America's #1 sportsbook. Just download the app. Get started. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Nailed it.
Chit-chat.
Nailed it.
Chit-chat.
What's
Go.
up? What we got
Oh
going
my God,
on?
that's the worst chit-chatting I've ever heard. Shams, are you doing all right?
Scoop in there.
Yeah.
You got a
Mental
scoop.
check.
You just put the headphone down. We got a scoop. What
Yeah,
we
I
got?
feel like.
We're working. We're always working.
Did you just curse Bobby Portis somehow that we don't know about?
Just text him. How dare you say the W word?
The W.
You know we
word.
love you, right, buddy?
We're working.
Let's just declare war. It's the year. It's just the year of beef. Let's just go for
Right.
it.
Can we do a song?
Yeah. I got the
Luke
studio.
can do a song. I can't do a
I'll write
song.
your verse.
We're doing a song.
I got
Luke
you.
can
Tune in
do
tomorrow.
the song. I can't do it. I can't sing.
No, it'll be ready tomorrow.
Can't
See ya.
rap. Can't rap. I'll leave that to Luke.
I can't rap.
Run it back, run it up.